Okay guys, we're going to go ahead and start on Led Zeppelin's Mak'er. Now this is one that I've actually played for a long time in the past, but I learned it a long time ago from a book that I bought, and I've changed it a little bit because there's the way it has it in the book, which is the correct way, I believe. It doesn't sound as good as it could when you're playing by yourself. I'm assuming most of you don't have a band to play with to add a second guitar part layered in there, so we're going to add a little bit, it's not much, but a little bit onto what you're playing here so you sound a little better when you're playing by yourself. And so I just spent the past 5-10 minutes getting that memorized, so I think we can go ahead and get the lesson going now. Okay, so again, I don't know how long this is going to take me to teach. I'll try to get through the whole intro here, or those chords that are playing on, not the intro, but the whole chord progression before the 10 minutes runs up. But if I do have to make a second or third video, you can find that one on my website at www.mikesguitarlessons, and the rest of that song and this song and the rest of Mak'er and this video will be there, along with other songs by Led Zeppelin and all the other great bands, and instructional videos too. So I think I've talked enough, though. Let's go ahead and get started so we can get as much done as possible. We've still got about 9.5 minutes left. Okay, or 9 minutes. So let's go ahead and start. You're going to start off with your third finger here. Let me get a little closer. With your third finger here in the 10th fret of the D string. Okay? All right? So third finger in the 10th fret of the D string, playing that note. Your middle finger is going to go in the 9th fret of the G string. That's third from the bottom. Okay? Playing that note. And then your first finger, I want you to flatten it out across the B string and the E string in the 8th fret. Okay? So that if you play those 4 strings, those notes should sound like this. Starting at the D string. Okay? Now, what I want you to do is, I'm going to move back a little bit so you can see. I want you to palm mute the first 3 notes. So what you're going to do is start at the A string. Start at the D string and pluck that note first. But you're going to palm mute, meaning you're going to take the heel of your hand and let it touch the guitar strings just enough to mute them about this much. You do it too much, it's going to sound like this. And you don't want to do it too little because it'll just keep ringing. So you want to move back and forth a little bit to get that right tone. You're going to do this with the first 3 notes, okay? Now, you're going to play your first 3 notes like this. D string, then G string, then B string. Okay, so that was these 3 notes. Then when you come back, you're going to come back to the G string here. I want you to pluck that one with your pick, but with your third or your middle finger is the one I use. I want you to pluck the E string. So you're skipping the B that's in the middle, and you're going with the G and E string. Okay, so it's going to sound like this. Okay? And that's what I added from the original version, that high note in there. Just because it sounds a little better when you're playing by yourself. It sounds a little bit empty when you don't have somebody else back there laying extra notes down for you. So, let's go ahead and go through that again. 1, 2, 3, and then G string and B string together. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and play the rest of the notes here. So, let's go through it again. D string, G, B string, and now G string and E string together. Now what we're going to do is your third finger here, you're going to just let it lay flat across the E string, the B string, and the G string, but you're only going to be playing the E and the G, okay? What you're going to do here, again, is your pick is going to go across the G string, if you can see that one moving, and your middle finger is going to grab that skinniest E string. You're going to pluck them both. Try not to hit the B string, it's in the way, so we're just laying our finger flat across here instead of using fingertips and 2 different fingers because it's faster. This is a fast riff to get the hang of. You're going to pluck both of those, and slide them to the 12th fret. Okay? So it's going to sound like this. And then you pluck both of them and then lay across. Okay? Alright, one more time. Okay? Then we're going to go to our next chord. We try to speed things up a little bit here. Let me get this out of the way so I can get a little closer. Okay. Now we're going to go down to 7th on the D string. We're going to put our third finger there. Okay, this is 7th fret. And we're going to take our first finger and flatten across the G, B, and E string. Okay, so that finger right there goes across those 3 strings. Okay, now my other fingers are just kind of hanging out above here. They're not actually touching the guitar neck here. So what we're going to do now is play the D string, then the G string, then the B string again, the same way we did when we were up here, palm muting each note. So it's going to sound like this. Okay. Then when we go back to the G string here again, we're gonna pluck the E string with it. So if you can see my middle finger here, it's grabbing that one, and the pick is grabbing the G string, the third one. We're gonna pluck them both together. And again, those aren't palm muted. I don't know if I made mention of that in the first one, but when you get to that part in each riff, you don't palm mute anymore. So you pluck those together. Now this time you don't flatten out across both of them. We only need the E string to come in right here. And it's going to go from the 7th fret. And you can use your pinky or third finger, whichever one's comfortable enough to get there faster. But you're going to go from the E string in the 7th fret to the 8th fret on the E string. Okay, just that far is all you have to slide. Okay, you pluck it only once. Pluck it in the 7th fret and slide it to the 8th. Okay, so that's going to sound like this. Slowly try to play along with me. And that's why I use my pinky, because it's already free. So we've got our 2 chords here. Try to follow along with me. I'll go slow. Starting on the first one, go. Okay, now the second one. And now we're going to go to the third one. Scoot over here so you can see this a little better. I'm going to flatten my first finger across the E string and the B string. Okay, so both of those. And now my middle finger is going to go down in the 2nd fret of the G string, playing this note. And my third finger is going to go down in the 3rd fret of the D string. Okay, so I've got these 4 notes starting at the D string. Okay, which is basically just an F chord. If you probably recognize that if you played that before. Now, again, we are going to palm mute back here, but you're not going to see my hand as well, so I'm just going to, well, that's okay right there. Now I'm just going to call out the strings that I'm plucking. Okay, so remember, this is the E string, the B, the G, and the D. Okay. So here we go. We're starting with the D string. First 3 notes are palm muted. So D string, then G string, then B string. And now we're going to get back into what we did before, and we're going to take our pick and we're going to pluck the G string with it, and our middle finger is going to pluck the E string. Pluck those together. Okay, nothing's changing down here. Just plucking those together. Okay, just like that. And now, again, we do like we did in the first chord. We flatten our third finger across the G string, the B string, and the E string, and pluck them to just the G string and the E string together, and slide them to the 5th fret. Okay? So here it goes. And that's it. And I'm running out of time, so I'm going to have to stop this video, but the second video